Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that's basically running our world, the logic of choice. You use it every day, like when you're deciding what to wear based on the weather. But it's also how your computer makes, like, billions of decisions every single second. So let's get right into it.
So, have you ever really thought about it? How does a computer, or even just a simple spreadsheet, actually make a decision? It seems complicated, right? But the answer is actually super simple. It all boils down to this one powerful concept: conditional logic.
All right, so here's our game plan for the next few minutes. We're going to start with what these things even are, then see how we use them in everyday language. After that, we'll get practical and put them into spreadsheets. We'll even combine a few to make them more powerful, and then we'll wrap it all up by solving a real-world problem. Sound good? Let's go.
Okay, first things first. What exactly are conditional statements? Well, they're really just made of two key building blocks. Let's start with the first one, which is just a statement.
So a statement is just something that's either true or false. That's it. There's no kinda or maybe. For example, 3 is less than 5. Well, that's true. A rat is a fish. Thankfully, that's false. This whole true or false thing, it's the absolute foundation for every single logical decision.
And the second ingredient is the conditional. Okay, this is where the magic really happens. A conditional takes one of those true-false statements and says, okay, based on this, what should I do? The structure is always the same. If this thing is true, then do this. Else, do that other thing.
So you might be thinking, this sounds a bit like computer code, right? But here's the thing. You already use this logic all the time without even realizing it. It's built right into how we talk every single day.
I mean, check this out. If it's raining, then we'll go to the mall. Otherwise, we'll go for a hike. See? It's perfect. The condition, our true-false thing, is it raining? If the answer is yes, true, we go to the mall. If the answer is no, false, we go hiking. One simple check, two different plans. Easy, right?
All right, so how do we make this everyday logic do some heavy lifting for us? Well, this is where spreadsheets come in. Tools like Excel or Google Sheets have this amazing built-in tool that does this whole process for us, and it's simply called the if function.
Now, I know when you see something like this on the screen, it can look a little scary, but trust me, it's not. This is just our if it's raining sentence, but written in a way a spreadsheet can understand. And just like that sentence, it's got 3 simple parts.
Let's break it down. Part 1 is the condition. The spreadsheet looks at cell A1 and asks, is this number less than 2,000? That's our true-false question. Part 2 is what to do if it's true. Add 1 to the number. And part 3 is what to do if it's false. Multiply the number by 2. See? A question, a yes answer, and a no answer.
Okay, enough theory. The best way to learn this stuff is to actually do it. So let's try one out. I'm going to show you a formula, and we'll walk through exactly how the computer thinks. Okay, here's our new formula. Super simple. It just says, if the number in cell A1 is bigger than 5, then double it. If it's not, then triple it. Make sense? All right, let's plug in some numbers and see what happens.
First test. Let's imagine cell A1 has the number 3. The computer asks itself that one question. Is 3 greater than 5? Well, no, of course not. That's false. So it completely ignores that first then part and goes straight to the else part.
And that means it calculates 3 times 3, which gives us 9. The key thing to remember is that because the condition was false, it used the second option, the else option.
Okay, what if we change the number? Let's try again, but this time, cell A1 has the number 8. The computer asks the exact same question. Is 8 greater than 5? And this time? Yep, the answer is true.
And because the answer is true, the computer follows the first instruction. It multiplies 8 by 2, and we get 16. Look at that. The exact same formula, but with a different starting number, we get a totally different result. That right there is the power of this stuff. Okay, but life isn't always that simple, is it? What if you need to check more than one thing at a time? This is where things get really interesting. We just need to add 2 little words to our toolbox, and or.
And honestly, this is the best way to think about it. Imagine you want ice cream. If your parent says, you can have ice cream if you clean your room and take out the garbage, well, you got to do both. No way around it. But if they say, you can have ice cream if you clean your room or take out the garbage, hey, you only have to do one. And means everything has to be true, or just needs one thing to be true. And is strict, or is a lot more forgiving.
And in a spreadsheet, it looks just like you'd expect.
If you want to check if a number in A1 is between 100 and 300, you just write and then put both conditions inside. Same for or. If you want to see if A1 is a 4 or a 6, you just wrap those two checks inside an or.
All right, you ready? It's time to put it all together. The final challenge. We're going to take everything, the if, the and, the or, and use them to tackle a real problem.
So here's the deal. We're looking at who qualifies for a tax credit. And there are two ways to get it. Rule number 1, your income is under $10,000 and you have 0 dependents. Or there's rule number 2, your income is under $20,000 and you have more than 0 dependents. The key is you only have to qualify for one of those two rules.
And boom! This is what that whole thing looks like as one formula. I know it looks like a monster, but just look closely. It's our if statement. Inside, we have a big or statement. And what's inside the or? 2 and statements. The first and is just rule number 1. The second and is just rule number 2. And the or connecting them says, hey, if either of those rules is true, they qualify. If not, they don't qualify. It's literally just turning those English rules into spreadsheet logic.
And that's really the big idea, isn't it? We started with these super simple true or false ideas, but just by stacking them together with if, and or, we built something that can make a pretty complicated decision all by itself. It's like building with Legos.
So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you get the basic idea of if then else, where could you use it? Seriously, think about it. Your budget, your to-do list, your work. Where could you use a simple if statement to automate something and just make your life a tiny bit easier? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.